recording has started. We used to do these live, Facebook Live, but Facebook has changed their policy with respect to live video. They'll only stay out for 30 days.
Oh,
So what it is, I record them, I post to YouTube, and then I cross post to here. Anyway, what we're hoping to enjoy tonight with what?
No, go.
With our friends after a rousing 3 rounds of sequence. Which, let me see.
I think you won all 3.
No.
Anyway.
Did we win? Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah,
Cheated. Okay, so anyway, this is from Santa Fe Spirits. It really is a good whiskey. As I was telling them previously that I found out about this whiskey through the Flaviar Advent Calendar a few years ago. Found out that they do ship to Virginia. Now, it's funny. Distilleries in other states are kind of hit and miss on when they can ship or not ship. Flaviar happens to be one of those that has means by which they can get whiskey to you. But this is the single malt whiskey aged in American white oak barrels, 92 proof, batch number 20, bottle number 322. Blah, 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 blah. Ooh, you mentioned something about mesquite before we came on. Colkegan is an unabashed... If I start reading words that you read there, I'm going to stop.
No, I think everything they do has mesquite. I think that's their
shtick. Okay. Colkegan is an unabashedly original single malt, double distilled in a pot still. Colkegan is carefully handcrafted from mesquite kilned malted barley and sangre de Cristo mountain water. Patient tradition aging in once used American oak bourbon barrels. Okay, so I'm going to give some sweetness. Marries Colkegan's rich smoke profile with deep, full flavor, resulting in a truly unique and timeless single malt whiskey.
Interesting.
What can you tell us about it, if anything, while I get this bottle open?
Words.
Words.
So this guy at the Whiskey Reviewer is rather verbose. Colkegan's single malt whiskey is the aged version of one of the 2 Scotch-style whiskeys distilled by Santa Fe Spirits. An American distillery set against a backdrop of Rocky Mountain peaks and Rio Grande Basin vistas, established in 2010 by an English architect
I'll use that one.
who arrived in Santa Fe via the British Virgin Islands.
Okay. British Virgin Islands.
I'll just go back and watch it.
That's where Dave is right now.
Oh, really?
That's why he's not here tonight.
Nice. Not nice that he's not here. Nice that he's
in a place.
Sherry and Eric, October 10, 2015.
Colkegan's single malt whiskey is distilled from 100% malted barley and bottled at 92 proof, which is 46% ABV for all of you following at home. The mash bill, the base of traditional Scotch and Irish whiskies, distinguishes Colkegan from most American, with that mash bill, which is 100% malted barley, distinguishes Colkegan from most American whiskeys, which are traditionally corn and or rye based.
Yeah.
As Colkegan's website says, well, I couldn't find Colkegan, says, however, this whiskey wouldn't want to be called Scotch, even it could be. It is one of a unique breed of American single malt whiskeys which are adapting the Celtic traditions in new and exciting ways. Early American distillers imported the basics of their craft from Scotland, but initially took to the more durable rye grain in practice as a substitute for barley. I did not know that. Oh.
I did.
Now independent American distillers are returning to malted barley and refining the traditional method. Santa Fe Spirits isn't the first. Rick Wassman's Copper Fox Distillery in Sperryville has been doing it since 2005.
Sperryville and Williamsburg.
Yeah. The barley base of Colkegan single malt whiskey employs a smoked malt that substitutes southwestern mesquite for peat, an idea now prevalent in southwestern craft circles.
The smoke comes through on the nose.
That's why the first time I had a sip of it, I really liked it.
But it's just not a peaty kind of smoke.
The whiskey is aged in various oak casks at the Santa Fe, New Mexico elevation, 7,000 feet above sea level in the high desert. In the glass, Colkegan has the mellow golden glow of a classic Scotch
That's
or
very interesting.
Irish
Yeah,
whiskey,
Very interesting.
It's a great color.
and a woody scent of smoky vanilla bean.
It's very Scotch-esque.
Yes.
But it doesn't have a peaty smell.
So it's got
It
a
has
smoke.
a
It's
smoky
got the
smell.
smoke without the peat.
It's because it's
What the-
mesquite. I think
'cause
that's
it's the mesquite.
awesome.
Yeah, and the
So
barley was mesquite smoked
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that mesquite coming through that gives it the smokiness.
rather than the musty peatiness.
Right. So peat has a very
You
distinctive
know,
aroma.
I taste a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I taste
Like
that,
that
so-
smoky.
I am
Like a
gonna-
Lefroy?
I'm going to have a little bit of that.
Okay.
That's quite nice.
Okay, so what we do normally in this sipping is, now that I've read some words,
Sure.
everybody gets to nose it and determine, then they'll tell me what you smell. And I will tell you what some of these pundits say that they
Oh.
smell.
I agree with
Smell
Jonathan.
whiskey.
Smokiness without
Yeah.
being musty.
Without being peaty.
Without being
peaty.
Right.
Right.
Grass.
It does have a heavy alcohol forward.
I got
It's
grass.
got
Go ahead.
It's got a very sharp smell at the end. Like you
Agreed.
can, like a mild fuminess to it. That's quick and sharp.
On the taste or
like-
on the nose?
you know-
on the nose.
On the,
On the nose.
Okay.
On the nose.
Does
Like,
anybody get bacon?
no.
So I actually
I got
attribute
viscosity.
that to mesquite. Mesquite is often
Viscosity.
a sharp, smoky
Mhm.
flavor
Right.
versus some
Could
of
be
the
just
other
the
like
baking
cherry
spices.
wood or hickory.
Anybody get toffee?
I got baking spices.
Out of the aroma?
Biscotti.
I could
maybe
see a little bit
maybe
of toffee.
Or
a
orange
sweet roll.
peels?
No.
No bacon? You got a little bacon, you think?
I get a little citrus out of it.
Okay.
I
So
don't know
the
what I
maybe a tiny bit.
tiny little bit.
honeysuckle? Vanilla?
See, that's where it's vanilla.
Getting
Yes.
past that sharpness is a little hard.
You know, almost you could say to any bourbon, yeah, I smell vanilla. You smell vanilla,
leather,
you smell caramel.
just came out of
caramel,
the-
But
tobacco.
not this, I don't
No.
think.
No.
on the nose.
Strawberry?
no. It's that sharpness. That
No.
sharpness comes through.
No,
on
no
the
strawberry.
nose.
Me.
I'll smell
Lemon
it.
zest? You said grassy? Somebody
I
said
thought grass.
Well, I mean, zest might be a little bit strong. I mean, I think we
Yeah.
both detect a tiny bit of citrus,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's very, very muted. I
When
think
you-
zest would be like
Zest
Yeah,
would
this
more,
is
be more
brighter.
poignant or
Yeah.
pungent.
and it's not that.
Yeah.
And it's not that. And,
Okay.
and I think my difficulty with the aroma is the sharpness of the mesquite coming through. Like kind
sort
of
of
drowns
maybe
out.
everything else
Right.
is blown away.
Because I think that's what that sharp fume is right
Yeah,
towards
yeah,
the
yeah.
end,
Yeah.
and it's like
Mhm.
that kind of replaces what you had there just a half
Right.
second ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
Anyway, before we go in for a taste, cheers.
Cheers.
Here we go.
To the director.
Thank you, sir. To the host with the most?
First taste. Yeah, it's more like, it tastes like, to me, like it's a lot higher proof than it is on the first taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tingle
Mhm.
that fades slowly, doesn't fade quickly. Warmth in the back of the throat.
Much like the aroma, there's a sharpness
Yeah.
to the flavor.
Yeah. Of course, it's
Um,
my mouth is so full of
I don't
bacteria
know how
from
long
eating
this is aged,
soup
but the
dumplings.
barrel does come through. Like I do get an aroma that I think is a bourbon barrel or
sweetness.
flavor.
But
Yeah,
bourbon
yeah.
barrel sweetness, yeah.
And this definitely happens with definitely some sipping whiskeys. I'm getting like 3 different tastes. They get
Oh,
like
yeah.
right at the front, very nutty. In the middle,
Yeah.
very woody and smoky and woody.
Yeah.
And then right in the back, almost like at the back of the tongue, it's almost hard to describe.
I've got astringency all over my tongue.
I got some oiliness, I thought.
Well, the oiliness in the mouthfeel, yeah.
Yeah, I love
but,
that.
But only a little for me.
I like it.
Well, it's one of the things that I appreciate about whiskey, whether it's a single malt, bourbon, rye, what have you. Everyone's going to have different things about the whiskey, whether it's the nose or the palate or the combinations, and the way they might be made into a cocktail, or the way that you might enjoy them, neat, rocks, whatever, that makes whiskey so versatile.
Absolutely.
Because there's some whiskeys that I've tried that some of my other whiskey buddies just absolutely love, and I'm like, yeah, that's just kind of
Oh yeah,
Not me.
And I've had the same thing with friends where there's something they hate that I like,
right.
and vice versa. That there's a balance.
But this is This was good. I'm sorry to say I don't remember what I paid. I think there was a bit of a price premium, probably in the $75 to $80 per bottle, but that was the same price for all three that I got. The apple brandy and the cask strength. Now, the cask strength is obviously going to be
different animal.
So one person said they got barbecue potato chips.
There, use your potato chips. You can make a sandwich out of it.
One person here at Whiskey Apostle
Okay.
says the palate is sweet with chocolate,
No.
vanilla, black currants, cherries, honey, a bit of barbecue sauce, and ash.
So
Vanilla. Go ahead.
So it does taste a little ashy in the back, right? Like I said, to me it tastes like nutty in the front, woody in the middle, ashy in the back, right?
And the barbecue sauce comes through because of
The mesquite.
Right.
Oh yeah,
It makes me
connected
think
to that.
barbecue
Yeah.
sauce.
Yeah.
I can see why they get there.
But I always like to get like full effect first taste, and then kind of shut off my nose for the second taste.
Yeah.
And with the second taste, I think there's a lot of the. I said it was a very sharp fume.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of that fume is affecting that back half taste, where it doesn't taste as woody and smoky if I'm shutting off my nose.
Now you may do this naturally. I didn't learn about this until a couple of years ago from another friend. When you're nosing it, you should do it with your mouth open. You do that? I didn't know that. I didn't know that at the time, because it completely changes where things go and so on. But I like this whiskey. Number one, I like the fact that it's an American craft whiskey.
You get honey or butterscotch and anything?
I got the sweetness. I got honey.
I could call it honey from the
Ginger. Some says on the finish is ginger and spice.
Ginger.
So I was just gonna say something about the finish. What is that? What is that Japanese whiskey that uses the coffee style?
Suntory.
No, it's not Suntory. It's
Yamazaki.
It's like Nika. So the finish is very similar to that.
2Ks.
In terms of, kind of style and, linger and all that kind of stuff.
I find there's a pepperiness to it,
Mm-hmm.
sort of that
Okay.
astringentness, but a smoothness
I
as
like
well.
peppery.
Yeah, it's a pepper, but not a burn. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a pepper but not a burn. Like I enjoy the flavor and the smoothness, drinking it straight up.
Yeah.
Some other things have a lot of pepperiness and too much burn. This has
That you would either want to cool off by putting them on the rocks or making some sort of cocktail of it, perhaps.
Right.
Okay.
So this could be my system, because I definitely have some issues in this area. But the burn is like for me, right here, the warm burn,
Right.
there's about a 10-minute delay on that.
Oh, it just got to you. Huh?
I didn't.
Wow.
It wasn't even happening until just
Until we
then.
started talking about it.
And I haven't had a sip in a couple minutes. So.
All right.
So my typical thing is to add a little
Couple of drops of water. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that approach.
That's good.
And
Oh wow, that's a lot.
yeah.
Well, everybody has their.
Okay.
I would let you have mine, but mine is
If you-
carbonated.
Yeah, mine's uncarbonated.
May I? I'm going to try to just do a drop or two.
Yeah,
I like to open it up with quite a bit of water to find out where it goes. Sometimes it's quite the improvement, sometimes it's not.
No, yeah. And one thing it does is it lowers the proof.
It definitely lowers
Well,
the
one
proof.
drop doesn't, but if you
Well, a
put,
few drops
Sometimes it dispenses some of the fumes.
gets it a little sweeter.
I like the aroma even more.
so it opens up a little.
Yeah, for me, I think the aroma with some water in it really.
Oh yeah. Here. Okay. I have a grading system for the whiskeys, and you, as my guest sippers, will get to contribute to this. The categories, the bulk categories are buy, bar, or ban. Buy being you'd want to buy this and have it in your collection. Generally, some of the factors that go into making that determination is what did it cost.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
If it's a really
I like the oil in
expensive, hard to find thing,
Yeah.
I might make it a bar so that you're certain that you want to get that $100 or better whiskey. Because there's a lot of good American whiskeys, rye bourbons and such,
I get a little.
that are in
price is
the
pretty
$40 to $50 range.
That are
Very affordable. But then there's others
Few that are
like Heaven's Door and that sort of thing. This one, like I said, I think it was in the $75 to $80 range, so it's a little bit
Here
up
it
there.
says it should be 60.
Okay,
Yeah.
well maybe the prices come off some then.
Yeah, it depends where
I
you
think
buy
that
it.
really,
And I'm just-
How you acquire it. Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, even those prices these days aren't unreasonable.
Right, but bar again, or buy bar or ban. Buy means get it, have it in your collection. Bar means maybe there's something about the palate as we describe it that may not be necessarily appealing to you, but other aspects of it would be. So you can find it in a bar, and there's a lot of whiskey bars. If you just got to know where to look.
Yeah.
And then ban. Discard it from your life, never to be spoken of again.
Have to think
just don't even think about it.
That's where I think bourbon falls for me.
She said,
All
it's just
bourbon.
total.
she has said that if bourbon were the last distilled spirit on the planet, she would never
Just
drink
be
again.
dry.
She would dry. So,
I'm sorry.
for me, it's a buy.
Yeah.
Not the fact that I've already bought it, but it's a buy.
Can I add a subcategory
Yeah.
or a caveat?
Well, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Depends what it is.
So-
House?
I actually have one called a Bar Plus. If you've got the money, buy it. If you don't have the money, if it's a little spendy, get it in a bar.
See, this is a bottle that so first of all, I don't have a collection, right? So let me start with that. I know you do.
Yeah.
So I don't have a collection, but that doesn't mean I don't have decent bottles here and there every
Right.
once in a while, right?
Right.
Like this is the type of bottle that if it ended up in my cabinet,
Right.
it may not be like a daily drinker for me.
Right.
It may be I have it every once in a while, but really I'm just holding it. So when someone comes over, I'm like, hey, try this.
Try this.
So I would buy it just for that.
That's
As a non-collector
right.
Yeah.
who wants something interesting to share.
That's a great
to
description.
someone,
And
That's a great
that's where I was
description.
going.
especially
Is-
someone who knows their whiskey.
So
Like,
I
hey,
have
try
plenty
this.
of things at home, and quite a few of them are what I call daily drinkers, where
Yeah.
we don't drink them all every day, but if you're going to have one, there's
It's a
plenty.
good one to have.
What do you guys
Solid.
go to?
I was just going to
Bourbon,
ask,
Scotch?
can we name our daily
Right.
drinkers?
Yeah,
So
I will.
my daily drinkers fall in the category of bourbons and Irish whiskeys,
Okay.
and
Me
sometimes a Scotch.
Okay.
There is a Scotch or
Wine
two
normally.
that
Yeah, me too.
Okay,
I-
any
comes
any
in
bourbon
there.
in
I don't
particular
want to drink whiskey.
is a daily drinker.
So I think the
Your go-to.
So my go-to, there's always some Woodford Reserve.
Okay.
Mine too.
Woodford's good.
Always.
There's always some of that on the shelf.
Mhm.
And there is frequently, at least lately, some of the Old Forester Special Series. So
Old
the
Forester.
1920 or the Statesman
Mhm.
or there's a 4 or 5 of that series. And usually one of those is around. And
Okay.
that's one of the daily go-tos. Or a, what's the Irish whiskey?
Dead
that's- Dead Rabbit Irish whiskey
Never
is actually
heard of
quite
it.
nice.
I've seen it.
And
I was buying it for the label.
Yeah,
I marked the label. I drank it. And I was like, oh, actually, this is delicious.
Yeah.
I like Irish.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get
That's
you,
it.
right?
That's it.
And
So,
then they're good enough
uh,
to make you come back.
Exactly. So I think all of those things are great daily drinkers. They're easygoing. I think this is a buy and a share.
Buy and share. Good. I like that.
And
Okay.
and exactly what you were saying is that I want to have this on the shelf so that I can show other people that there's a spectrum of things out there.
Right.
See, I
And this
almost
gets to an interesting spectrum.
I wouldn't waste it on someone who's a non-whiskey drinker unless I was trying to prove a
Agreed.
point.
Yeah.
Right.
I would be more saving it to someone who does appreciate whiskey.
yeah,
and be
yeah,
like,
that's
hey,
what I mean by
hey, try
share.
this.
Yep.
It's,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is an
That-
interesting whiskey that you probably haven't had if you like whiskey.
Right.
And
Something
it's
like this.
interesting
Like,
direction.
Brian, if you're listening, you might be
Yeah.
getting one of these.
go-tos.
So, it's changed at different points in my life.
Okay.
I guess.
As it does.
Evolving. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the thing is I don't really drink much anymore, so I always have a bottle of Woodford, always,
Okay.
no matter what. And actually,
Good go-to.
on that day, there was a ton of it consumed. Right?
Thank you, Sherry and Eric.
That's my brother's wedding.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
10 years ago almost.
Yeah, and
Are they about to have a 10th anniversary?
about that. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So, and I've always kind of been sort of a Woodford guy. Like
Okay.
I liked Weller
It's a solid.
back when I could afford it.
Yeah.
When it was more manageable, but
Before you go to House and Cows.
No, before Weller went pricey.
before Weller,
Yeah,
went through
before-
the roof.
yeah.
When you can
Right.
find it at
Ridiculous.
MSRP,
Right, exactly.
that's
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, so if
Yeah.
it was the same price it always was, that would probably
Then
be
it's
my
fine,
daily
yeah,
drinker
for
still.
sure.
But now I've kind of moved on to Woodford.
Okay.
But I think I'm probably the outlier in this group. I've always been a massive Scotch guy. And my
You're not
scotch
the
is
outlier.
okay. Well, of the sippers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of the official sipper dudes.
Right.
So
The talent. We're the talent.
and my scotch has
Keep telling
changed.
yourself that.
My scotch has changed almost
Okay.
every couple years.
Okay.
Right now, I don't know why. I've actually gone more basic and gone back to like Highland Park.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Highland Park.
there's really nothing amazing
Is
about
that a single malt?
Yes.
Or is that a blend?
No, it's just
I thought it was available in both.
black.
yeah,
Black
yeah.
label.
They have
We have
really
the single malt at home.
I mean, there's at least. I'm pretty sure there's at least 2 bottles of Highland Park of different types in there.
Yeah.
One's definitely a single, and I don't know what the other is. I think one's like a cask strength something or other.
But I think they make
Well, if it well, they wouldn't mix a cask strength. That'd be a single barrel.
When I was
Or a single, yeah, small batch.
sipping whiskey, which was so long ago,
Yeah. Right.
I would go to Scotch. And I would go, it was Oban, then I would go to some of the Otter Glens, not Glenfiddich or
Right.
Glenmore.
Moray.
Yeah.
No, Glenmoray I like.
Glen.
Is Glenfiddich like a little too smoky?
I don't know. I like Isla, so then I go
Oh,
heavy
yeah.
into the Isla.
Oh, okay.
But
So you're
my
heavy into
real
that
for
side.
years go-to was Balvenie.
Double
Doublewood.
Yeah.
Double wood.
Oh,
Double
double
wood.
wood.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. About
That was
$75.
See,
a-
I tend, when I go Scotch, I tend to go to the lighter Scotches.
I want something that
Like
grabs
famous
my
grouse.
So
grabs my tonsils and says, "Lassie,
Like,
you're drinking it."
here we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
you know, this is probably sacrilege, but some of the peatiest scotches I've ever had, I've found are amazing for stewing tomatoes.
I
Someone's
bet.
gonna kill me
Yeah,
for
no.
this.
Okay, yes,
Someone's
yeah.
gonna kill me for this.
No.
But,
All right. So
I've never tried.
so
That sounds fascinating.
But I will
I'm-
drink.
I'm on board.
I will drink the lighter ones.
Yeah.
I will enjoy occasionally the middle ground, but the ones that go way over the
Way
peatiness
over.
bar, those are amazing for cooking, and somebody's gonna kill me for it.
No, I like Glenmoray. And now
I
it's
gotta-
going
I
to get
gotta up my
expensive because it
cooking game
was
on
just
the
named
Scotch.
the #1 Scotch whiskey in the world, I think.
next
by
month we're going to be
Scott.
staying in a place.
Yeah, you guys are going someplace special.
200
It's
yards
going
away.
to be great.
Anyway, my go-tos. Okay.
Yes.
Bourbon. Okay. First of all, it's bourbon.
American.
3 different ones, specific ones. Okay. Evan Williams, Bottle and Bond, White Label.
I cannot disagree with you
Okay.
at all.
That's a good one.
That
That's
is
a good one.
Solid good one.
Okay.
We had great experiences with that.
And then what many people refer to as Baby Buffalo Trace, Benchmark. Okay. Same mash bill, same mash bill, same rick house, just a different spot in the rick house. Okay, so the temperature fluctuation is more
Yeah.
stable. Okay. And that's the one I like to just, if I'm going to have a Manhattan, I'm going to get that one quick. And the other one, which is a little bit harder to find, Ancient Age. Okay. 10-year
You usually find it
bottom shelf.
bottom shelf.
Ancient Age. Ancient Age.
It has to be the ancient.
Yeah, it's 10 years. Okay, it is so good, so smooth. It's a grip
Oh, I've
is
seen
like I don't know, $28-30,
Yeah.
and it is so good, so smooth. Ancient Age is easy to find. It's 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the
Ancient Age.
Yeah, I get you.
You can get it occasionally at Virginia ABC.
Yeah.
You just got to keep an eye out for it.
Keep an eye out for it.
Did you just get a bottle at the Coast Guard Exchange?
Yeah, I have found some great values in Virginia ABC.
Oh.
The problem with Virginia ABC is you can't always find the selection you want,
Yeah.
but there are some
No.
great values to be
Yeah, 'cause
had.
they don't mark
The
up. They
problem
can't
is
mark
all the knuckleheads camping out.
Oh,
When they
and-
have a
yes,
release, they
and
go
when they
camp
release it,
out.
Yeah.
But
Kills me.
Yeah, like I'm in some social groups for drinking and stuff like that, and then
I know you're in
you-
foodies.
Well,
I
yeah,
know you're in foodies.
I know. But I'm in several social groups, and it just kills me every time people discuss like their camping out plans and like their strategies for like.
I think there's gonna
making
be a drop on
making
Tuesday.
sure they get the drop and no one else before anyone else.
And the
I'm
fist
like,
fights in front of the store.
You guys basically ruin.
Yeah.
I actually made a comment on one of them. I was like, yeah, I mean, you guys basically ruin whiskey for me,
Right.
right?
And they're not
Like,
getting it for themselves.
No.
No.
They're getting it in the flip. That pisses me off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
The flip is the worst.
They're basically
And then the
they're
collectors
basically
don't
like
drink
they're basically the ticket scalpers of the
Yeah.
alcohol
Right.
age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I-
Absolutely.
if you're gonna have a collection, enjoy it sometimes.
This is what we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
Okay,
And that's what I'm all
I have
about.
over
It's
200
not against their collection, but to enjoy it.
200 different bottles that I've not opened yet. Okay.
We need to come to your house.
It's a little excessive.
We do.
It is. So
please
anyway,
don't.
Unopened.
We need to fix that.
I've
Yeah,
got-
we'll fix that.
I've
But
got 300 and change.
I'm
and
not
been
as good a
done in shows.
housekeeper as Dan, nor am I
Okay.
as good a cook as
It's
Dan. So just come in and
All right.
We'll
So
bring
anyway,
food.
hold on.
Hold on. I wanted to go Rickers. I already thought I was a good housekeeper because I don't think so at all.
You're pretty good. You're pretty good.
This has been a longer show. Jonathan, I appreciate the
Appreciate the
commentary. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Again, I don't have any merchandise, not selling anything, doing this for a lot of fun. As you can see, the interaction here gets to be informative. It's like,
Yeah.
I got this, I don't have that, this tastes like this, and then you take it into, well, these are the kinds of things I like aside from this and so on.
Right.
This is why I would buy it. I would
Yeah,
buy it to have and share for someone who I think would appreciate a special whiskey,
Absolutely.
particularly a craft whiskey made here in America.
Did you give us your buy bar ban?
Buy.
bye.
Oh yeah. He was immediate.
Yeah,
okay.
immediate buy. So anyway,
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Thanks, Davin.
Cheers.
We're gonna, cheers. Aloha.
Or management.
Ciao.